Glad the Mavericks lost. Like they about to get swept. Looks like the Mavericks are about to get swept. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Come on in the chat room. Come here. Come on in the chat room. Come on in the chat room. Come on in the chat room. What's up, Evan? When it got refilled when I was in Seattle. What's up, Nino Black? That's Seattle weed, boy. That Seattle weed hit different. Man. That Seattle weed, boy. Look at this. Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree. You graduated on Saturday afternoon? That's what's up. That's what's up. Did your family attend your graduation, brother? That's what's up. Nah, I'm an LA nigga. I'll never be smoking that New York shit. We were just talking about that in Seattle this past weekend, how New Yorkers finally started getting good weed in the last 2 or 3 years. You said your family's at your grad school graduation. Where'd you graduate from, Katt Went? Where'd you graduate from? St. Joseph's? That's what's up. That's what's up. Man, congratulations. Just make sure you take your knowledge and do something with it. That's what we're talking about today, knowing yourself. We're talking about the importance of knowing yourself. When I was in Seattle this past weekend, I went on my man St. Nick's podcast. I'm gonna repost that podcast whenever he posts it. But we had a great build, all from LA. He was telling stories about him, and I was on a podcast with my man St. Nick and the A&R, his brother, independent A&R manager, Doughboy. Like he A&Rs for a lot of your newer West Coast artists. He got an album coming out with Sadat X from Brand Nubians. He brother man had a dope story, man. He was talking about how he, spent time in prison and he got out. And now he, for the most part, manages talent and A&Rs for talent. He hooking up good, hooking up good music. Tradie, a lot of different artists. But he was talking about how when he was in prison, he really took the time to learn himself. And I was just so impressed by what he was saying because hit the like button. There's 17 of y'all here, 4 likes. Hit the like button. He was talking about how when he got out of prison, how when he spent his time in prison to learn who he is. And I was thinking that's so important. It's so important no matter where you are in life to know yourself. And this is especially for you brothers I see here talking about y'all just graduated college. Y'all in y'all 20s. So in your 20s, that's the time you take to really find yourself. You have a concept of who you are, but you don't quite have a lot of experience. So your 20s is like a fast track to getting experience. Whatever issues you brothers who just graduated college or anyone in your 20s is doing, 20s is your time to really, really, really sit down and take stock of your life. Learn yourself. Learn who you are. Know yourself. You figure that shit out in your 20s by making a fuck ton of mistakes. When I was in Seattle, oh, I saw one of my childhood homeboys, somebody I've been knowing since I was like 9. Like, and when we had a good time seeing one of my childhood friends out there. But well, then there's no real buts to it because everybody lives this life at their own pace. But he he's like going through a divorce right now, and he's going through a whole lot. And I saw it on his face. And I'm not gonna divulge any business of his or whatever. But basically, what I saw was my boy living a lot of the karma that he put out in his 20s, good and bad. And some of the issues that he's dealing with in this divorce were issues that I would see him deal with women in his 20s. And I had told him straight up, like my friends, the blunt truth, 100% of the truth. And what I told him was, it's like it seems as if you live in the same issues you were having at 23. The difference is when your 23-year-old issues are still affecting you at 40, there are much bigger consequences to it than it was in your early years. So whatever issues you got now in your 20s, now in your 30s, they only issue so you can solve the problem. You know what I mean? So whatever problems you having, deal with whatever issues and mistakes you deal with, but solve the problem. Because the problem only gets bigger as you get older. It's like financially, my homie he's doing like better than he ever has. He's, as far as an earner, he's in your top 3% of black males earning wise. But socially, when it comes to dealing with women, and this is one of them brothers as a player partner of mine. Got all kind of chicks, always and always has, always. Even back when he was broke, always had the baddest chicks. Even when he was broke, the nigga had the baddest chicks. But he didn't really know when he got in relationships. He had issues in the relationship side of the game. And I've been telling him all the time, man, whatever that you got to fix that. You got to fix that. Now that situation he didn't fix is fixing his ass. But at the end of the day, he's going to come out shining like a diamond, brother. He's just a good, talented brother. Whenever he does learn this lesson, he's going to come out great. But when you go, for you young niggas out there, and you young men, ladies too, when you go through problems, these problems, as you resolve these problems in your life, they all unfold to help you learn yourself even more. That's what happens. That's the cool thing about problems. The more you solve them, the more you learn yourself. You know, new beginnings. And as you learn yourself, you get new beginnings. That's how it works. That's how it works. Now, what y'all talking about? What's up? Yeah, man. Yeah, you say your 22 by fast, ain't no black. Yeah. See, here's the thing with challenges. Here's the thing with challenges. Challenges are temporary. Challenges are temporary. Like, for instance, a basketball game. A basketball game is a challenge. Your individual matchups in the game is the challenge within the challenge. But the game at the end of the day is only 48 minutes long. When you get better at facing these challenges and competing in these challenges, you get great rewards. Like the NBA players, NBA is the highest uh, paid league in the world. You can play in Europe, you can play in Spain, you can play in Australia, you can play in China. You can play anywhere you want in the world now. But the most money to be made is made in the NBA. Why is that? Well, the NBA is also the toughest challenge. But again, the game is only for 48 minutes long in a 24-hour day. The season is only 82 games long. You play 82 days out of 365. You only play 82. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because the challenge is only temporary. The spoils from the result, positive or negative, are much longer lasting. If you had the talent to make the NBA, but you didn't work that hard, you didn't work as hard, you didn't meet the challenge, the fallout from that is living a life of what could have been. If you met the challenge and played at your best and did your best, whether you won or not, knowing you gave it your all, the payoff is not only all that money you made at the highest level, to the satisfaction of knowing that you gave it your all. So, back to life. In life, you got these challenges. Some people's challenge is in dealing with how to talk to women. Some people, some niggas I know, they can get the pussy all day, but they don't know how to talk to women. And they can have sex with as many women as they want, but when it come down to a woman really following and giving herself to you, that could be a challenge with a lot of men. With women, a lot of women can have a challenge of men being attracted to them, men courting them, dating them, hollering at them, talking to them, but they can't keep a man around. Usually that's because there's some sort of challenge that they're not facing. And these challenges can be hella scary because whatever challenge it is you're facing, that challenge takes you all the way out of your comfort zone. That's usually what the greatest challenges in your life do. They take you way, 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 way out your comfort zone. Way out your comfort zone. But the cool thing is if you meet the challenge, you get to know yourself from a deeper angle, from a different angle than the angle you did what you knew about yourself before that. I think about this for a second. We all grown here, but we remember being in high school, being in middle school, being in college. There was that test. In high school, we always is that one class that gave you an issue you knew you had, but you knew you had to pass this test. You knew you had to score a certain level on this test. Remember how big that test was at the time before you took the test? Like, remember how nervous you were and how, like, if you didn't pass that test, you felt like your world was going to end? Now, when you look back on that test or whatever it was, you be thinking like, man, that little ass shit, that was nothing. Matter of fact, you don't even think about it no more. Sometimes you gotta have that in front of your mind when you're dealing with your present day challenges. and face them. Because if you don't face them and address those challenges, they're just going to get bigger and the stakes are going to get higher and you can really mess yourself up. But the beauty is, as scary as it is to face that challenge, as scary as it is, whenever you do face that shit, whenever you do conquer it, what you get on the other end is nothing short of amazing. You know? You see, every time you decide to settle down and go left, yeah, I appreciate it, Carlo. I wasn't looking because I had to get that off my chest before I looked back down and got distracted. It'd be some smart motherfuckers in this chat room, and y'all say some intelligent shit, and it'll throw me off my whole rant I was going on. But yeah, Black, I feel that some brothers they have no issues pulling. Like some dudes, they can't pull for shit, but when they do finally get one, they can keep that one for a long time. Other issues can pull all day, left and right, left and right. But when it comes to settling down, it could be a problem. What's up, Savage? Kirk going, what up, y'all? But for the fellas out there, let me give you some advice for the fellas out there who can pull all day, but the women don't want to. Having a long term chill type environment is a challenge. Let me give you a little bit of help just based on my experience dealing with these situations. Um, Pay attention to the type woman you attract, whatever that is. Not only the type woman you attract, pay attention to the things about her that annoy you the most. If you start attracting the type women, a certain style of woman, and they kind of do a similar thing that annoys you in that same group of things, and that's an issue that you have. It's not them, it's you. Because the reason why you're attracting that same style woman over and over and over and over again is because that is what you need to face to get through this challenge we call life. Relationships, remember this shit, women and men. Relationships are a mirror. Relationships are a mirror. And sometimes it's going to mirror the good and the beautiful and the great. Sometimes it's going to mirror that ugly shit you don't want to deal with. So if, and this isn't this case for all single people, you know what I mean? This isn't, if this message don't apply, let it fly. But in my observation, I find people, and in my dealings, I find people continue to attract the same type woman or man, depending on what you date. If you're a woman, man, if you're a man, woman, you tend to attract a similar type, and their issues that you have with these people sometimes fall in the same family of issues. If it's trust, if you're running across somebody, a type woman that you can't trust her, or she can't trust you, what that's telling you, that's life's way of telling you, you have an issue with self trust. People that trust themselves, I mean, truly trust themselves, they don't really attract people that don't trust them, or they'll attract them, but that won't it won't be a consistent thing. They'll repel them away. If you're constantly attracting people who don't trust you, that's a fairly clear indication you don't trust yourself. And this is subconscious behavior. When I say these things, I'm talking about subconscious behaviors, not what you say, what you do. Consciously, people could be like, man, I trust myself, man. I trust myself. But subconsciously, do you really? You know, if you attract the kind of person that that's always undermining you, you trying to build something, but you kind of keep attracting these type ladies that undermine you, that undermine what you're doing, that kind of berate what you're doing, they kind of lower, they don't have a value, they don't really value what you do. That means you probably need to ask yourself, do you value what you do? Or do you value? Y'all see what I'm saying? Like these are ways that like these are ways that we can these are things ways that we can do to sort of self monitor and self check ourselves, you know? Some issues are gonna be harder than others to fix. Just keep fixing them. Like one thing about this challenge, this life game is always gonna have challenges. Look, man, like they say, life is an endless unfoldment of new beginnings. New beginnings can only happen after fresh endings. When you end some shit that's going on, you have a new beginning. Hmm. Well, that makes sense, that you give good advice and you can't advise yourself. That happens. That's how it is. Look, man, that's just what it is. It's easier to see things in other people than it is to see yourself. I know I don't see myself as clearly as I see other people. Shit, to all my friends, man, I be predicting shit. I be whamming insight. See, I'm lucky. I got an ace in the hole. I got a wife that been knowing me since I was 12. So my wife and she sees things that I can't see. And but I also got friends that see things about me that I can't see. Like Larry would tell me some shit from an angle that I can't see. Like we all need help, man. Question: can you see the tip of your nose? Well, if you one of the big nose niggas, probably, but I got a small nose. I can't. Maybe you Armenian nose. Maybe you show enough for Harlem nose having ass niggas can see y'all nose. I don't know, but I can't see the tip of my nose. I can't see in my I can't see in my nostrils without a mirror. I can't see I can't see my own chin without looking in a mirror. I can't see my cheeks. I can't see my forehead. I can't see my eyebrows. I can't see none of that shit without looking in the mirror. Why did I say that? Some issues, a lot of issues that we have, they're so close, they're impossible to see. That's why we all got to help each other. That's why we got to help each other. And another thing, sometimes it's easiest to see the things. And here's another way. Here's how one way I fix my own issues or try to fix my own issues. Because I still got a fuck ton of issues I'm working on. Trust me, niggas, I got a fuck ton of issues. But one thing I learned through years of experience, through wisdom, is in my immediate circle, between like my wife, my closest friends, if I see something in them, sometimes it'll be certain things about my wife that annoys me. And then I may have one of my close friends or somebody I'm around a lot. I'll kind of see that same issue with them. And then I'll be like, okay, if I'm seeing this in people who are around me, that means it's something within me that rings a bell with. Because everybody got problems. Why am I seeing this problem? Why am I seeing this one problem in 2 or 3 different friends? We all got problems. They got an infinite amount of problems that I can see. Why do I see this one? Oh, okay, I see why I see this one. I'll be bullshitting in that same area. If I'm gonna be 100 with myself, which is what I try to be. If I'm gonna be 100 with myself, I got that same problem. It just manifests in a different way. Everybody's problems, you know, manifest in their own way. Again, that all goes back to knowing yourself and why. And these are all tools. No, ain't nobody just born knowing themselves. Ain't nobody just born knowing how to solve these problems. Going into what you were saying earlier, Nino, like going back to what you said earlier, Nick said Craig ain't got that problem. You a fool, Chuck. I'm 40 now. I just got started getting comfortable speaking out more like this as far as self help. Like when I was working my last job, man, I saw the issues with the people. I wasn't applying that shit. I'm just as fucked up as they are trying to give advice. In your 20s, like I always had wisdom about me. Even in my dad told me that. My dad told me and my dad was talking about a month ago. And my dad told me how like I always had the wisdom going back to when I was like 5 and 6 years old. I would always just say wise things. So according to my parents and all the old people, I've always been way ahead of my years as far as knowing what to say at the right time. But as far as getting on the internet and getting out public with being as vocal as I am right now, I didn't really get comfortable with that until the last 2 years. That's because I didn't feel like I had sufficiently worked through my issues enough to be that vocal about about my side of the game. Like I would give wise advice on other shit, but as far as like talking about relationships, giving people like doing like a lot of self help, like writing books and shit like that. And I was like, man, I ain't about to be going around writing no books and doing all this extra shit if I know I ain't doing it. So I had to go through a few. I spent a lot of my 30s, Nino. You see, you just now getting into your 30s. I spent a lot of my 30s being the person that I wanted, like actually applying it and being the person that I conceived myself as. In my 20s, who I wanted to be was a concept. In my 30s, I was trying to figure out how to make it real. In my 40s, I live it. That's kind of how it happened with me. And I still ain't all the way there. You know what I mean? I still got a fuck ton of issues. Some some for real issues. I mean for real issues. And I'm gonna have for real issues until the day I die, just like the rest of you niggas. The difference is, are we willing to take, do we have the courage to face it? Or are we gonna spend our life blaming other people? Those are our two options. Well, three options. You can face it, you can blame other people, or you can ignore it. Those are the three options. You can ignore like it don't exist and live life yada yada yada. And if that's your choice, that's cool. Because I know I've seen people, hell, I've seen people reach their 80s, just be like, you know what? I don't care. But that's a level of integrity to where, it worked for them. Then you got other people who they in their 70s, they still blaming other people. And them niggas just look all fucking crazy. And then you got the other ones who say, you know what? A feeling that blank was an issue in my 20s, but it wasn't in my 30s. But in my 30s, this blank was a major issue, but it wasn't in my 40s. When I got to the 40s, man, that was shit. That was a major issue, but that wasn't a major issue in my 50s. That's what it come down to. Like I had me and Kendall had a conversation about that. You know, Kendall's the hypnosis. Y'all need to hit up Kendall. She's fucking great at what she does. Great, 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 great. But as much advice as you give out, sometimes it's like it's hard to live it. It just is. But really, at the end of the day, think about it like this. If me and you both at a restaurant and we eat and you got a piece of whatever, cake, cream, whatever, on the side of your cheek. Just because I see that blemish on your cheek, don't mean it ain't a blemish on my. It's don't mean it's not a blemish on my cheek. Me seeing your blemish, me seeing your flaw, isn't the absence of my flaw. And I think that's where people go wrong. People think just because I'm pointing out your flaw, that make me flawless. No, 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 no. Quite the contrary. The fact that I see your flaw means I probably got it too. I could have something else on my cheek, or I'm pointing out the piece of cream, whatever, from the cake that got on your cheek, but I could have hot sauce on my shirt. Y'all see? I mean, yeah, I'm giving y'all fat nigga references, nigga. Hell yeah, I know myself. I love myself. God damn it. But y'all get the point. Just because I'm pointing out your blemish, don't mean I don't have a blemish. It just means, excuse me, it just means your blemish is easier to see from my point of view. From my point of view, I don't see that hot sauce that dripped on my shirt or may have or that or whatever. But I can see that on your face because I'm facing you. Again, so that's the importance of removing judgment. What's up, BB? That's why. What's up, James? What's up, Dedication 666? That's why, yes, happy Gemini season. And that's also another thing. We all got our own power. Like for me, I touch for, I'm a king of clubs. If your birthday falls in a club, if you're a club, that means you're a good communicator. Malcolm X is a king of clubs like me. That's what we do. King of clubs, we master teachers. But king of clubs, not Malcolm, but a lot of king of clubs can also be full of shit too. My card. We could be great teachers, but we could also be living shitty ass personal lives. But have and how many times have you seen that? How many times have you seen someone go out there and they're a great motivational speaker, they're a great preacher, they're a good singer or activist or whatever, and then you go and look at their life ain't shit. That's actually most people who talk a lot. That's actually most people. I'm one of the rare ones that ain't got shit to hide. Most people who out there running their mouth, their life don't reflect that shit. But I think that it's good to try. Like for me, when my life wasn't reflecting the things that I say, I didn't talk like this. I would maybe one on one give personal advice, but I didn't talk like this. I didn't start talking like this more until my life started reflecting the things that I say. You're right, Kenneth Berry. You eight of spades, the gold CNC, eight of spades. Eight is a number of money. Spades is a high suite. That's the highest suite in the deck. Is the spades. Yeah, eight of spades can be difficult to deal with, but at the same time, eight of spades can be something. So I think part of the reason why eight of spades people can sometimes be difficult to deal with is because they're so great at what they do. That goes back. Like some people are just great at what they do. Like everybody, and that's just. I'm still learning my cards. I'm not having my cards out like that. But what's up, Nicole? I'm glad you brought that up. You're right, Carla. Orators can be very deceiving. Orators are most of the time deceiving. What's up, good? What's up, deep impressions? But like, I'm glad she brought that up. Like, I'm glad I brought it up. To speak more on that point. Another thing people got to get rid of. People, people gotta stop. Like, you gotta take people in the public eye, or not just people in the public eye. You gotta take people in general. Just love them and cherish them for the part that they share in your life and add to your life. Example. Eight of spades, yeah, you can make money on accident. You damn right, you damn eight of diamonds, eight of spades. Eight of spades, y'all fancy. That's a fancy card. You find your card through your birthday. Every day of the year has the same card. I can't, like, I'm on my phone. If I was on my computer, I could pull yours up, but I'm on my phone, so I can't be. When I'm on my phone on YouTube. I can't switch back and forth. And I don't know all the cards. I know some cards off the top of my head, but not all of them. What's your birthday? Yeah. But going back to what I was saying about you can't put everybody on every level. Let's break it down on a friendship level. Then I'm gonna take it up to I'm gonna start with friendships and then we're gonna take it up to celebrities. But let's start with friendships. You spend your 20s learning what a friend really is and who they really are. Because when you're in high school, middle school, you know a lot of people. You have a lot of associates in the same in your 20s. By the time you get to your 30s, you have less associates. 40s, I'm 40 now. I feel like I know two people. If you niggas knew me in my 20s in LA, I knew every goddamn body. Like, oh, such and such is having a party at the Do in Hollywood. Oh, I'm there, front of the line. Thank you. Nowadays, in my 40s, I don't know no fucking body. I can't think of two people to call. But why did I say that? In your 20s, that's when you find people who you thought were really your friends. They ain't shit. And people you really didn't fuck with like that. Y'all were cool, cordial, no bad beef, but you didn't really hang out. You didn't really talk to them like that. Y'all ended up becoming real cool. And then you get new people in your life that that bring in a new aspect of you. A lot of that goes in your 20s. But the thing that starts making people lose friendships, especially in their 20s, is you kind of want to put people on the same level. When at the end of the day, what it really is, you got some friends you gonna just party with, have a good time. They ain't really much to talk to, substantive about, but they good people to have a good time with. Then you got other people who you may have substantive conversations with, but you don't really hang out a lot like that. And then on the relationship side, you got women you extremely sexually compatible with, but outside of sex, it ain't really much there. And then you got women that you can do everything with, and y'all may not even have a sexual relationship. Why did I say all that? I said all that to say this. You start. to get the most out of life, you got to know where to place people. Everybody can't be everything to you. If you lucky, you'll get a wife or a husband that can fill a lot of roles. But really, when it comes down to it, no one person can fill every role. So what happens in your 20s is you got that one friend that you party like. You want them to be a more of a friend, but you realize you got to at some point you realize that motherfucker only gonna pick up their phone when it's a fun time to be had. You know what I mean? And people go through issues during that time, but when you in your 30s, you just realize, you know what? It is what it is. That's when you really figure that out when you get to your late 20s, early 30s. But that's how life is. You gotta let people be who they are, and you gotta put them on that level in your life. Don't expect a bottom like like be there till the end dynamics with somebody that the only time you talk about lighthearted bullshit and nonsense, and you go party with. You can't expect that person to be there for you in certain times of need. You out of alignment when you expect more from somebody than they've ever shown they're willing to give you. And I think that's something that going back to knowing yourself, you that same way with other people. It's certain people who when they call, that phone is always gonna be picked up and you're gonna be there. And there's other people when they call you, it's it depends on how I feel. That's like on a personal side. And what's up, Al Bone? That's my nigga right there. Smoke yours. It's always good when I see my brother Al Bone out there in the streets at a random party event or some shit like that. I know that nigga gonna have some good weed. Yeah, smoke yours, my brother. But so you gotta like when you start expecting things more from people than they've ever shown they're willing to give you, you the one that's out of alignment, not them. Now somebody came around running their mouth saying, "Yeah, man, I got you, man. I got you. You ever need me? I'm there." Blah 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 blah. And they keep saying that. They keep saying that. Kate. They keep saying that. Now it's time for you to send in that request that you may need because you're down a little bit right now, and they don't show up for you. Then yeah, by all means, yeah, that's heartbreaking. That's very heartbreaking. And anytime you get your heart broken, even if it's by a non-sexual relationship, we still have heart. We still got friends. We cool with. If somebody disappoints you that you really was 10 toes down for, they told you one thing but showed you something different. Yeah, you gotta. That's heartbreak. You gotta admit that your heart was broken, and you gotta just say, okay, that's what it is, and handle it, deal with it, and keep pushing. Because what you don't want heartbreak to close your heart space off. You want to always keep your heart open. Don't let don't let don't let do not let heartbreak keep you closed off. It's people out there, no matter how many times you've been wrong, no matter how many times you've been fucked over, it's people out there that need your heart. You got whether it be a grandmama, a auntie, a child, a cousin, that friend you only talk to uh, once every 2 years. Somebody gonna need that open heart space, so you got to keep that shit open. But I was saying that to say, when it come down to it, when it come down to it, yeah, you're right. A heart cannot break. You just can't. Your heart can't. You can choose to close your heart off, but that pain is only temporary. And if you keep your heart space open, you'll find yourself a stronger person. You strong if you can go through heartbreak and stay. You can go through heartbreak and stay open. They make you strong than a motherfucker. That make you strong than a motherfucker if you can say, because heartbreak is one of the deepest pains you'd ever want to feel in your life. But if you can get over that shit and open your heart space back up for the next person, you's a strong motherfucker, nigga. Pat yourself on the back, nigga. And if you are closed off, know that you can open it back up, but that comes down with a choice. You have to make that choice to open your heart back up, knowing full well it can get broke again, and being okay with that. You got to be okay with your heart being possibly being broken again. You got to say, you know what, that may happen, but I'll deal with it on the other side. In the meantime, I'm opening this shit back up. You gonna win too. But back to what I was talking about. Back to what I was talking about when it comes to friendships. If you put yourself out there for somebody and they broke your heart, that's one thing. But truth be told, that's not how it happens most of the time. Most of the time, people show you who they are. They show you, they show you, they show you. They show you they only fuck with you because you get all the bitches. There's fellas in here that's probably deal with that. You the one that got the mouthpiece to get the women around. They show you they only want to come around if it's gonna be some women if it's gonna be some women to be around, if it's gonna be some sex to be had, possibly where they can get a little bit of runoff. That's the only time they come around, or they only come around because you when you go to this place or that place, or this person or that person. Oftentimes, that's the person that you people willingly give try to open up to and be better friends with. And they literally telling you, I only fuck with you to do won't wham, won't wham. They're not telling you with their mouth, but they tell you that with their actions. So a lot of the heartbreak people experience is extending their heart to people who've shown you from day one that they don't even want it. Women, you got a dude that's making that body rock. He digging in them guts, but he only really call you when it's time to dig in them guts, when it's time to have sex, when it's time to have fun. The nigga ain't, he may take you to a restaurant, he may show you a good time, but that good time only comes with one thing. You've never been able to be around this dude without y'all having sex. He's telling you what it is. Not with his words, because the nigga gonna say anything, especially when your dick hard. You gonna say where the fuck it takes. Alright? That's how men think. Ladies, and men ain't gonna change either. It's like when a nigga dick get hard, a whole nother brain take over. Women, y'all don't even know. Y'all be one man, yeah, you can't put, man, ain't no man gonna, man, shit. Nigga, when he want that, most men are gonna say what they need to say to get it. So if it's the only time y'all around each other is if it's for you two to have sex, he's telling you what it is. Now you wanna buy him gifts and you wanna impress him and call your homegirls and why does he treat me this way? That's on you. He said you don't want to get you're right, it's called testosterone. Shit. What's up, Doogie 54? You said you don't want to get used for a second. If you don't want getting if you don't want getting used, that means you're having a boundary issue. Being used and being the person that's getting used in relationships, usually that comes back to where you set your boundaries. Your boundaries are too shallow. People aren't going to go deep with someone with shallow boundaries. You got to set a standard to yourself for yourself. Get clear, first off, get clear on what that standard is and live that standard. A woman's not going to go deep with a man with shallow boundaries, and she can feel it in her energy. Women can feel it. The way women can feel it. The issue is oftentimes women feel that, but what she's really feeling is a man's insecurities. He's really the right one for her. As far as what she wants, he's really the one that's going to take care of her. He's oftentimes the one that's going to do right by her. But that anxiety feeling she's feeling is an insecurity that's within the man. But since women are insecure, can be insecure in a relationship, well, we both can be insecure. I won't say one's more insecure than the other. But really, what she's feeling is his insecurity, but she's interpreting his insecurity as something wrong with her or something wrong with him, when really it's just an insecurity that's not being touched. And that's a major miscommunication in relationships. Again, what's the answer? Back to the title of the program. Know yourself. Really, the way to circumvent a lot of the miscommunications is to really, really get a deep understanding of yourself and the people and the women and the your sexual opposite that you're attracting. They're there to show you yourself. That's why they're there. You ever ask yourself why there are all these billions of women on earth, but you're attracted to her or these three or four or these five that these fellas? I know a lot of you fellas. You maybe do three or four, five at a time. That's what I did when I was single. Shit, I had one chick to put on my arm when I was going to the nicest nightclubs in Hollywood. I had other ones that could suck a golf ball out of a vacuum. You have a different one that you just have a good, fun, silly time with, and you got another one. No, you know how it is. But still, in that, if you're having an issue, the issue is something that they are reflecting back to you. Use that shit as an opportunity to fix yourself. You right, Debo's a man gotta see a woman gotta want it. Yeah. He said, use me like chill with it. Yeah, man. You right, Dakar. When people show you who they are, believe them. That's what it is. Believe people. He said, Lam don't know you in real life. Yeah. But I also know this. So it's certain things, fellas, about yourself that people may not like, but you like it. You ain't gotta change everything about yourself. We didn't come to this earth to just be sitting around doing backflips all goddamn day. There's certain things about you that's just who the fuck you are. And like, go listen to that song "Golden Time of Day" by Frankie Beverly and Maze. When he's talking about the golden time of day, when you find out who you are, that's the golden time of day. That's when it shit really makes sense. You may be a nigga that really gotta have a bunch of. You just gotta have them. It's women out there that are cool with that. You may be the kind of dude, whatever. You may be the kind of woman that you want a man that does won't like. He don't need to make all the money in the world, but he gotta have a certain standard, and you just know that about yourself. That's fine. You know what I mean? Ain't shit. Some shit you ain't gonna change about yourself. Some shit just gonna be, and that's fine too. But let me tell you the trick to that. Let me tell you the trick to that. Here's how you attract that, and if you attract that, this is how you keep that. You have to be willing to allow that same space to the person you're with. Meaning, I'm not saying, let your girl go around having sex while you have. I ain't say all that. What I'm saying is, the person you attract, they're gonna have certain issues about them that you don't necessarily fuck with like that. You love them overall, but there's certain things about them that just ain't gonna change. You still want them, you still love them, you still gonna be with them. You gotta allow them the space to be like, okay, hey, that's just who they are. You know what? I don't really like it, but it ain't that bad. Now, if it is that bad, don't be with them. If it is that bad, then just don't be with them. But if it's something about them that you don't really like, but it ain't that bad, and they probably never gonna change it, allow them that space. You can't be the person that's talking about, well, this is how I'm gonna be, but anything that annoys me about you, you got to change. That's where you go wrong. That's where it fails. It fails when you 10 toes down about not changing, having space to not change in certain areas, but everything about them that you don't like, they gotta change. No, 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 no. You get what you give. Either way is fine, and both ways can work. Again, it just comes back down to knowing yourself. All this shit can work. Nigga, Dougie 54 said I ain't changing with shit. What's up, Ebony? You say you question yourself like because the women you attract bad for you? Hey, Doogie 54, I got the feeling that you out there just having fun right now, bruh. Hey, but if that's where your vibration is, keep having fun. If that vibration change, tune in and listen to it. But if your vibration right now is on having fun, keep having fun, man. It's your life, nigga. Can't nobody tell you how to get down. What's up, Ebony? Is someone who gaslights toxic? Yeah, gaslighting can be very toxic. But I've seen relationship where you got two gaslight motherfuckers. And that gaslighting, that tension, is something that fuels the relationship, as weird as that sounds. So if you just two gaslighting motherfuckers and you can take it, you know what I mean? If you can take as much as you're willing to give in the gaslighting game, then it's all good. But if you with somebody, if gaslighting ain't your thing, if that really ain't your thing, but the person you with's always doing it, and you tell them about themselves and they keep doing it, then you gotta ask yourself some questions about that person. Or do you want to be with that person? Yeah, I can see that running the streets getting old. Me and my wife got married at 32. We were 32 when we got married. We were just talking about that today because I was in Seattle this past weekend. It was great to get home to my wife. But we were just talking about that, how like, because again, I'm a king of club. That's my card. And we great. We can either be great in relationships or terrible in relationships. And men like me aren't good in relationships when we're young. Like that's why in my 20s I didn't really have any serious relationships because I was too busy being silly, nigga. My 20s was fun as fuck, man. My 20s were fun, partially irresponsible, but very fun. Sometimes you just ain't ready, but then when you start to change in your 30s, like me and my wife was talking, like even though I have been knowing her since I was 12. And we was friends through our 20s. And we kind of casually dated in our 20s. And we were just talking like, we actually could have gotten married at like 24, 25. That's when we kind of started taking each other serious off and on. We could have gotten married. And if me and my wife got married at 25, I still would have known her for over 10 years at that point. So 25 would have been a great time for me and her to get married. But nigga, I wasn't ready to get married no goddamn 25. Shit. At 25, that's when I was still going to Essence Fest every year. I was going to All Star Weekend every year. Nigga, that's when I was in the clubs all the goddamn time. Nigga, shit. Ain't no way in hell I was ready to get married at 25, 27. Shit, me and my wife were cool. I remember there were times, and this is why it's good to give somebody who know you. I was thinking about this shit. Like when I'm like 28, 29, I'll be kicking it with her. I'll be at her house. At her was I'll be kicking it with her, and like then I would leave about 11 o'clock at night, 11:30. I would leave her house, go to the club. Usually I like getting to the club about 12, 12:30. Go to the club. Sometimes I'll hit up two clubs in one night in Hollywood. Sometimes three, depending on if they're close. You know, leave the club and come right back to her crib at like 3 in the morning. I would sometimes do this shit like twice a week. Like we'd be kicking it, and I'd be like, you know what, I'm about to go to the club, and I go and just hang out for like an hour and come back 2 hours. I wasn't ready to get, and I wasn't really out there chasing women like that. Like I never was a chaser, but I just had to be out. I had to be out in them streets. I had to be in them streets, nigga. It wasn't until I got into my 30s where I had spent so much time in the streets. I was just done with it. And she was at a different maturity level in her life. And then we kind of was she was at she reached a maturity level to where she was ready to get married. I was done with what I was doing. You know, I was ready to get married. And it happened when we was 32. I know a brother who didn't get settled down and married till he was like his 40s. You know, so if it's when it's your time, just work on my. And here's the thing. Let me say one more thing. You ain't gotta be perfect. When I say fix yourself, I ain't saying you gotta be all the way fixed when you get with somebody. What I'm saying is you gotta be willing to walk the journey. You gotta walk that yellow brick road. Remember, the Wizard of Oz was about the journey of life, the yellow brick road. And each one of those scarecrow, fear, the tin man, the scared, no, lion. The lion represented fear. Each one of those characters that Dorothy ran up against represented dealing with issues in life. And it was about going from your lower chakras to your higher chakras. Meaning, the whole point of the Wizard of Oz was to let you know that the journey to knowing yourself, because at the end of the day, Dorothy had to take them ugly ass heels, them ugly ass shoes she had on. Who the fuck picked them shoes off of Diana Ross in the Wiz? There was some ugly ass clogs that she had when she met the wizard. But on the Wizard of Oz, basically you see the person that's running the game, the Wiz. This motherfucker ain't shit. He's just some shit talking motherfucker with a loud microphone and a big shadow, influencing the world. That's what that scene on the Wizard of Oz about when the Wiz is like when they have like green's a color, and Quincy Jones is playing that long ass piano, and then they change from green to yellow, and you see these niggas in there with these big ass diaper draws dancing, and then they change from yellow to red. And that was them pointing out to you that the Wiz, that this big ass shadow that really ain't shit. They say it don't matter what the truth is going to change every 7 seconds. That's what they was telling you on the Wizard of Oz. The truth changes to whatever the fuck the wizard say it is. But then when you meet the wizard, you find out the wizard ain't shit. And then when you went on that long ass walk with this little ugly ass dog named Toto, that was a little shitty ass dog. She could have at least had a Rottweiler. If you can go walking down some long ass journey, at least get a pit bull, Dorothy. But she had some little ugly ass shaggy ass dog named Toto, and she did all that walking through all them goddamn tornadoes. All she had to do is believe and click her heels and say there's no place like home and believe. And she went through all that walking to find out home was always where she was. She had to go through that long ass journey through all them bullshit ass people dealing with ugly ass scarecrows. And but she did get to dance with Michael Jackson and Nipsey Russell, so that was cool. She got to dance with Michael Jackson, but she had to go through that whole long ass journey to find out home. She was always home. She just had to say it. Why did I say all that shit? I said all that to say you ain't got to be perfect to get with the right person. You just got to be willing to take that journey down a yellow brick road to get back to who you are. And you got to be willing to take that journey with them. And if both of you motherfuckers on that vibration of taking a journey and being the best that you can be and making the best relation that you can have, y'all gonna get that shit and y'all gonna win. But if one person is bullshitting and one person is serious, it's gonna fail. That's how it works. Or if both people are serious with like, I am who I am, I don't want to fix shit, and you with somebody else who's like that, and that's just your relationship, shit, that can work too. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. But Seattle was fun, man. Like, man, I had so much goddamn fun in Seattle this past weekend up there with St. Nick. I'm gonna show y'all the podcast that I did whenever they post it. I'm gonna post it on this channel. We had some dope conversations. Then like on Friday night, I stayed like a mile from the Space Needle. I walked down to the Space Needle. That's when I was live with you motherfuckers. Then my phone went dead. I wanted to keep you niggas live because there was a whole bunch of bums in Seattle. I was thinking like, man, let me keep my phone on live just in case I ain't got my pistol on me. Just in case one of these bums come around, I gotta fuck them up. It's a camera recording. That's really why I went live with you, nigga. Let me have some video evidence. There's a lot of bums around this motherfucker. And then my second night in Seattle, my second day in Seattle was cool. I went to that bullshit ass Pike's Place Market. I remember saying that shit on the Real World Seattle. Said I'm gonna go there one day. And then I went to like what's that? Jimi Hendrix Park. They had some shindig going on. Went to some shindig at Jimi Hendrix Park. And then that's right, El Hombre. That's right. And then one of my homeboys I grew up with, this nigga took me to some fucking mayonnaise bar out in Kirkland. And let me tell y'all something. I'm about to tell y'all another story. See, I be having stories. Damn. I've been on here 69 minutes. I sure can't talk a lot. God damn. I be running my fucking mouth. Um, but nah. So this is what happened Saturday night. I'm at the podcast, right? We talking and chopping it up. Somebody come by with shroom bars. And I'm like, man, hell yeah. And I ate them knowing that the shrooms wouldn't be that effective because I shroomed out last Sunday. That's why I didn't do incense and ashtrays. That's why I didn't do the show this past Sunday, the music show last Sunday. No, I did. I did it back. I did. I shroomed out kind of like well, I did the Kendrick Lamar album review. I did do the incense and ashtrays, but that's what I did. I started taking the shrooms like halfway through the show. So I had a dope ass shroom trip last Sunday. So I'm already knowing if I shroom again on Saturday, man, it ain't gonna be that effective. I'm not effective. I'm knowing that it's not gonna be like an intense shroom trip because I just shroomed on Sunday. Usually I like to go at least a month between trips, sometimes 2 months, just so I can get a good high. Man, so I took them. I took the like I ate half the shroom bar at the show on Friday on Saturday night, and it was cool, but it wasn't all the way. So I ate the whole shroom bar, buzzing, feeling good. My boy come pick me up. He take me out, and if y'all follow me on Instagram, y'all saw the video. If you follow me on Instagram and Twitter, I posted the bullshit ass video last night. This nigga take me out to some bar way out in Kirkland, and this is the whitest ass, and it's black people in there, but these are these weird ass acting niggas. You know what I mean? Ain't no real live niggas in there. But my boy, he's a corny motherfucker. But hey, I've been knowing the nigga since I was 8. One of my best friends. I'm corny too. I can be. But he like these corny ass bars. He's always been that way. When we was in college, he used to always go to this bar at UCLA called Maloney's. Maloney's was as cheesy as the name. Think of the name. Think of an Irish bar full of white people named Maloney's. Think of how horribly bland and cheesy and sorry that sounds. Well, this bar at UCLA called Maloney's was every bit as bad as you think it was. And Reggie used to love going to that fucking bar. But we would do some cheesy shit sometimes. Well, anytime I was hanging out with him, I'm like, okay, I know I'm getting some cheesy ass shit. But that's one of my best friends. So, hey, I got love for him. So, I'm on shrooms last night. And mind you, when you on mushrooms, you're very sensitive to your environment. You feel everything. You feel everybody's energy. You feel everything. That's why if you do shrooms, you got to make sure you're in a peaceful environment. Because if you're around a whole bunch of dickheads, your high ain't gonna be no good. You're gonna have, in fact, you're gonna have a trip. It's gonna be a bad trip if you're around a whole bunch of assholes. So I'm feeling good though. We drive on out to Kirkland. We go to this fucking bar doing like a band, and this band's okay, but there's white folks up in there. I'm sitting down. It's this white lady that keep dancing, and as soon as she saw me, she put her eyes on me and came over and like fell into my lap, literally, and was drunk like, "Oh God, no! Oh God, yeah, you need to dance." And she's on my. This is like last night. This shit's happening literally 24 hours ago from where we are now. This shit's literally happening like 24 hours ago. 24 hours ago, this is the situation I was in. And she's like, "Oh God, yeah, yeah, yeah. You need to dance. Come and dance with me. You're gonna dance." And I'm like, I said, "Get off me." And she's like, "No, you have to dance." I'm like, oh shit. I got her drunk like bitch. So I'm like, nah, go ahead and dance. I'm not dancing. I'm chilling with my boy right here. I ain't dancing. I'm good. So we sit. I lean, started talking to my boy. That's when I started filming. And if you look on the video on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, if you follow me on any of those, at DwannB, You look on those, you see her dancing in a black dress. Oh, it was her. And so I read it, and I'm like, man, and you hear my boy in the background talking about something. It's normally like this bad. I'm like, yes, nigga, it is. And no less than 2 minutes later, she comes back over to me. Now she turns around and she started giving me a lap dance. And I'm like, but I moved to the side. And then she leans back to me and she says, I know the last thing you want is my flat ass all on you. I'm gonna lose my voice. I know the last thing you want is my flat ass all on you, huh? I said, yeah, that's the last thing I want. Get off me. I said, get off me. And I kind of pushed her off me a little bit, but not hard because I'm in a room full of white people. I don't want to make her fall, but I gave her a nice little nudge. Fuck off me. She goes back and she turns around and tries to hug me. And when she goes in for the hug, I hit her with a smooth step to the side, get up. And so she fell onto the seat. I moved. I slid. And I was like, man, and mind you, I'm still on my mushroom trip. Now I'm sorry. Now I'm starting to get mad. And the last thing you want to do is be mad while you're on mushrooms. That's the last thing you want. It'll fuck your whole trip up. So I walk outside, smoke, walk outside, come back in about 15 minutes later, see the white chick. I sit down. She comes right back over to me. Where have you been? I thought you left. I thought you left. I'm like, oh my God. I literally, while she's talking to me, I get up and I walk to a whole nother side and I sit down over there. Then I see this dude, some other black dude that's in the club. He all up in now. A few minutes later, he all up in her face, and I can tell he's trying to holler. I'm like, man, you Seattle Kirkland niggas is weak as fuck. This nigga. So yeah, hell yeah, I sidestepped her. Where I had mayonnaise all on me. I felt icky when she fell on me. I swear to God, I just want the sweats I was wearing. Yeah, I wore sweats in that motherfucker. I knew I was going to some corny ass place. I'm about to get dressed up. I just finished washing those sweats. I just got them hoes out the dryer. Well, I didn't dry them. I hung them. I just got them out the washing machine right before I went live with you niggas. And let me wash off this mayonnaise. So I get back to the hotel last night. Nigga, I just walked. I was on the shrooms, nigga. I rode. I got back to the hotel. I rolled 3 joints. Not joints, 3 blunts. I rolled 3 of them hoes. And just walked all throughout downtown Seattle last night. Walked down to the shore, like to the shoreline. Nigga, walked from the shoreline up to the Space Needle. I walked for like 2 hours. That shit was fun. And I was listening to Jimi Hendrix the whole time. I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna be in Seattle, I'm gonna experience the sound of Seattle. Jimi Hendrix. Nigga, I was playing Voodoo Child, all that shit. I might do an incense and ashtrays on Jimi Hendrix and Muddy Waters and what's up, Saint Nick? Yeah, last night, Saint Nick. I was just shouting you out. I was just shouting you out. It is last night. Yeah. No, cause last night, my boy, I didn't want to go out. My boy came and got me, Nick, and he took me to some. He said it's a live music lounge. I'm like, cool. I don't want to be in no. I don't want to be in no club. I don't want to be in no club. The shit ended up being like a club. It was a live band, but man, that white woman, she nigga, she spilled. You missed the story, Saint Nick. She was on me. This white chick just fell all on. She was drunk as fuck, and it wasn't. It was. It was a sloppy drunk too. I was like, man, I am not trying to get no charges brought up against me. I'm from LA. I'm not. If I see a sloppy drunk white woman falling over me, first thing I'm thinking in my head is charges. Like, I ain't trying to get no goddamn charges. She was fucked up. Fell on me twice. Second time she fell, I sideswiped her ass. Whoop! But I was only in that motherfucker. I think we was in that little bar. I told my man, because I was on the mushroom. We was in that motherfucker. It took us like 20 minutes to get to Kirkland. We was in that bar for like 30 minutes. Nigga, let's go. Nigga. Take me back, nigga. Take me back to my hotel. But it was all good though, man. I walked. I looked at how far I walked. I walked like a good 4 miles last night. I was walking for at least 2 hours. Nick, I rode them three. I rode them. Yeah, for sure, Nick. Saint Nick. Y'all follow his channel. And but I walked all through downtown Seattle last night. It's a lot of goddamn hills. I think that's why I walked so long. It was all them goddamn hills. Let me keep on. I'm gonna keep walking down this shoreline until I get to where this motherfucker flat. Like, Seattle, the goddamn air is so goddamn clean in Seattle. I see. I'm back in LA right now. I'm over here. I'm over here, damn near getting the asthma attack just from being here in LA. The air in LA is way different than the air in Seattle. Yeah, Kirkland was beautiful, but nigga, that shit was. It was that little bar my home. That little bar my boy took me to, man. Nigga, that shit was weirdo. He said, go back and look at that video I put up on IG. Nigga, that shit was weirdo central. And then when I'm outside smoking, the security guard comes over to me like, since we saw you smoking, we're technically not supposed to let you back in. Because in the state of Washington, even though we serve liquor, they say if someone looks like they've been smoking or they smells like they've been smoking, you're technically not supposed to allow them back in the club. So I'm technically not supposed to allow you back in. And I was like, oh, don't trip. If you don't want to let me back in, I would gladly leave. He said, no, you don't have to leave. You don't have to leave. No, I want to let you back in. But I'm letting you know you can't smoke near the door. I'm like, man, if you don't get your Nordic ass out of my face. He had one of the long red beards. He looked like that motherfucker that killed Ahmaud Arbery. That's how the white boy looked. He looked like that motherfucker that killed Ahmaud Arbery. I'm like, man, if you don't get your brownie paper towel man jacket having ass, I'm out of here. Nah, it didn't rain. Like, it didn't rain when I was out there. It rained last time I was out there. What's up, Willie B, man? Yeah. Yeah, we talking about knowing yourself. Whatever your get down is, know yourself. Be secure within that. And when you know yourself, when you're secure within that, the world will mold to you, your world. So what else y'all talking about? What else you niggas talking about? Man, I had fun up in Seattle, man. I can't wait to go back to that motherfucker. I'm glad I went too. I'm glad I went. Hey, Nick, man, I'm glad you had me out there because my boy that's out there, he told me that he's about to move to Colorado like next month. I'm like, shit. I'm glad I came now because shit, if I waited a month, homie wouldn't have been up there. I don't know nobody else in Seattle. I don't know. I only know one person. Like, well, personally, like I moved up there. I only know one person. That's it. So I'm glad that I got to go because he about to move. He said, Patrice. He said he would have put up on the barn dance. Nah, Saint Nick. I was on them shrooms, man. Like when you're on them shrooms, you can't be in every environment. You know what I mean? Like if I wasn't on them shrooms, I probably could have stayed longer. I just would have been drinking. If I wasn't on shrooms, I could have just been like, played the whole thing off and just be. I'd have probably been laughing at it. But when you're on them shrooms, man, you feel like energy. You feel energy too strong. You will like it's like shrooms open you all the way up. So the minute shit get too loud, too ramp, like shrooms is some chill shit. When shit get too loud and obnoxious on shrooms, that shit could be overload. That's why I got about that motherfucker and left. Said Patrice Collier's getting a bad rap. No, no, no. But Collier's she signed. That's what happens when you sign on to be the front face of these white supremacist organizations. Black Lives Matter was a front group. Look on this very channel. I pointed out the whole Act Blue scam back in 2019 on this channel. That whole thing was a scam. White supremacy always throws its tools under the bus when they're done with them. Yeah, she's getting screwed over, but Black Lives Matter funded a lot of evil democratic organizations, and you know that blood is on her hands. And I'm not saying she intentionally did it. I'm not saying she knew everything that they were up to. Hell, Patrice Colliers did the least of the scam. Black Lives Matter as an organization is a scam. She just was a front face. But yeah, they put her black face out there so they could throw it under the bus when the whole scam got discovered. The whole Black Lives Matter stuff got seen as a scam that it is. So they threw their front niggas under the bus. That's why the lesson to black people is all money ain't good money. You ain't got to be everybody's puppet. Because look at how they treat their puppets. That's the lesson. Yeah. Hell yeah. BLM was a cold ass kid. Black Lives Matter is just our millennial version of the NAACP, a do nothing organization that's meant to come in and take the narrative. The difference is we didn't let this shit take root. Generation X, millennials, we was like, nah, homie. Then baby boomer motherfuckers let the NAACP take over, and you saw how NAACP fucked them niggas over. NAACP fucked them over, fucked all of us over by extension. Black, this one I knew. I kind of knew Black Lives Matter was a scam from the beginning. This is what made me look. This is how I was able to see through Black Lives Matter. When Trayvon Martin was killed, and all that stuff was going on, and then the not guilty verdict from Zimmerman when they had them protests here in LA. They basically shut down Crenshaw and Stocker, walked onto the freeway, 10 freeway, shut that down. Different cities around the country started protesting. Literally the next day, I remember seeing these Black Lives Matters t-shirts around the city and on TV around the country. And this, mind you, this is back when I used to still watch MSNBC. Yeah, I used to still go to MSNBC for my news sometimes back then. So I asked myself, mind you, now we have Printful. Like you have drop shipping. Drop shipping, you can create a t-shirt and it can be anywhere in a couple days. But in 2013, you didn't have no 2014, 2013, there was no such thing as drop shipping. You didn't have those kind of resources. If a t-shirt was all around the country, that means somebody will some back something not either somebody or some organization has a lot of money to make that happen. So I literally asked myself, oh, how did Black Lives Matter get their t-shirt around the country in a day? That was the first question I asked. The second question I asked was, why am I seeing this organization, quote unquote, named Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, all on the news every day? Why are they getting so much time? The news is very strict about who they lend their camera time to, and they're very contrived with who they give attention to. So I asked myself two questions. One, how did they get these T-shirts distributed around the country in one night? What it had to be a very organized person or company that did that. Two, like how did they get all these motherfuckers organized? Two, why is the media giving this organization so much camera time? I remember during time after the Trayvon Martin trial, it was like the news, MSNBC, CNN, they had Black Lives Matter representatives everywhere. They had Black Lives Matter panelists. They had Black Lives Matter in the field. Black Lives Matter, uh, like city hall, town hall meetings. And I was like, man, how the fuck did this organization that I never heard of 2 months ago, why are they everywhere now? That let me believe, okay, there's something bigger going on here. That ain't us. Ain't a black man on earth powerful enough to have t-shirts distributed nationwide overnight and get that much attention from the media. That's literally impossible. It can't happen. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, yeah, ADOS, so yep. Yeah, they put Black Lives Matter on Madden. Ain't no fucking organization that's for black people. That's if it's truly for black people, they're not getting white dollar. They're not getting white attention from it. I'm about to get the fuck up out of here. The shrooms had me up to like 5 in the morning last night, walking my ass all around Seattle. I went to bed like at 5, woke up at 8:30, so I catch my flight. Yeah, George Soros, man. Yeah, I'm about to. Yeah, I was, man, Nick, that shroom bar had me up. I was walking all throughout Seattle last night. I'm tired as hell. I was walking around Seattle from like 2 in the morning to damn near 5. It wasn't quite 5 when I got in, but it was 4 something. That shit was fun. Yeah. You said next time in garlic sauce? Mm, nigga. Well, I'm about to get the fuck up out of here. I'm about to lay my ass down, y'all. I'm gonna holler at y'all tomorrow. Oh, I'm gonna do a music. I'm gonna do an Incense and Ashtrays music review tomorrow night. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it on, but I'm doing that tomorrow night. And I may see y'all again tomorrow morning on here on YouTube. I'll holler at y'all.